Good morning, guys. Today we're introduced to Will Smith, and he shares with us one of the things that has helped him so much, and it is the idea of living a life of service. And he goes on to tell us that it's the purest form of joy anyone can experience. And another thing he reminds us of is the fact that we are meant to serve at least one other person. We're meant to be shared, as we are all each part of the same thing, that source that we all come from. So think about your life today. How many people are you going to serve? Or how many people do you affect through your daily actions, and even deeper through your choices, and even deeper through your thoughts? So remember today, as you go on about your day, as you prepare for it, you are going to be in service, whether you know it or not, of at least one other person, just through your thoughts and actions. Have a great morning, everyone.
There's a whole industry around, I think, work-life balance. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
It's like there's a massive industry that's just trying to teach this and help people with work-life balance.
Yeah, the problem
but it seems like it's failing.
It's
right?
it's treating a symptom, isn't it? It's like so many things in our life. So here's the bad analogy. So we buy running sneakers, and they have really thick. You know this.
Yeah.
They have really thick heels, tons of padding in the heel. Right? But that's because people don't know how to run, right? Because we land with our heel, which is bad for our joints. You're not supposed to have an extended knee. Yeah, all of it. You're supposed to be a toe planter, where your knees are always bent. I mean, you know all this.
Yeah.
So instead of teaching people how to run, what we do is we just build shoes with more padding in the heel and treat the symptom rather than the cause, right? And I think it's the same thing. We treat symptoms instead of the cause.
So
the work-life balance thing. What we're doing is instead of changing businesses, instead of changing the way a business operates and changing the way in which we teach leaders to operate with an infinite mindset, so that we more naturally have work-life balance. And let's be crystal clear what work-life balance means. Doing more yoga does not create work-life balance. Right?
That's the shoe, the cushion on the shoe.
That's the cushion on the shoe, right?
Yeah.
The imbalance is I feel safe at home, I don't feel safe at work. That's the imbalance.
Wow.
And no amount of yoga or vacation time is gonna fix that. What fixes that work-life imbalance is better quality leadership in our businesses. And then what you'll find is the balance. But instead what we do is we have an entire industry that's treating the symptom, that's putting cushion on the shoe to make us feel kinda for an hour that I've achieved balance.
Same, yeah.
But it's just for an hour. And we literally market. Companies market themselves as helping provide you work-life balance. Unless you're teaching leaders to the people who are my bosses, then you are not helping me achieve work-life balance. You're helping me numb the pain. You're helping me cushion the blow.
There is no work-life balance. There's just life. The fact that we are separating work from life, I think is a big problem. I think that's why most people hate their life, because we don't see work as a part of life. Your work is a part of life. Your work should fuel your life. Your work should give you purpose and meaning. We all want to wake up and feel like we matter, and we're going to do something today in our work that's going to create some kind of positive impact, right? On the days when you wake up and you feel like today is going to matter, I'm going to make something that is going to matter to another human being, maybe 1 million people, maybe one person, but today is going to matter. Those are the days that you love your life and you feel amazing and you feel like you're contributing and you feel like this is why I do what I do. And on the days when you feel like it doesn't matter, nobody cares if you show up, you're not making anything meaningful, there is no contribution, those are the days where you hate your life. There is no work-life balance, guys. It's just life. When I'm on podcasts and people ask me this question, like, what does work-life balance mean to you? Or they ask me some variation of it, like, how many hours a day do you work? Or what does your work calendar look like? It's like, well, what's work to you is my usual response. Now, I'm sitting here on your show. I'm having a great time. We're doing this podcast together. Is this work for you? Like, does this count as work? Because I don't see this as work. This isn't work. This is fun. This is fun for me. This is my life. I like this. When I see this podcast in my calendar, I'm excited by it. I don't look at it as work. Making these videos, I don't see it as work. That's why I've been able to stay so consistent. Right? How do I not burn out? It's another question I get asked a lot. How do you not burn out? How do you make so many videos? How do you not burn out? A lot of people burn out nowhere even close to the number of videos that I've done over how many years? 13 years? A lot of years. Guys, it's been a lot of years of showing up and making over 10,000 videos. Crazy. How? Why? Well, because it doesn't feel like work. This is part of my life. This is what a purposeful life looks like. If I saw it as work, I would have quit and given up years ago. I mean, a decade plus ago. There are some pieces of what I do that feels like work. You know, doing accounting stuff feels like work. I hate that stuff. Doing administrative stuff, paperwork, legal stuff, that feels like work. I burn out very quickly. I want to spend the least amount of time as possible on that. I want to hire people, have a great lawyer, have a great accountant, have a great bookkeeper, have people help me with that stuff because I do not enjoy it. It feels like work. And if my calendar was just filled with that stuff, I would hate my life. So I don't believe in work-life balance. I reject the premise of the entire question. It's just life. How do you want to spend your life? And this is one of the greatest things that we have as entrepreneurs. You get to decide what your life is. You get to pick the business you go into. You don't have a boss besides the customers, but you still also get to pick which customers that you work with. And your work should be something that is a source of joy for you and a source of energy for you. Because when you love what you're doing every day, it will bring you a lot more happiness and satisfaction in your life. So it's all just life. One of the great things I think that you can do is look at your calendar, see what's coming up in the next couple weeks, couple months, and are you excited by the things that are in your calendar? And I put everything in my calendar. I love living by my calendar. I don't know if it's because I don't remember what I'm doing, tomorrow, or I'm so present focused that I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing tomorrow. So I have it in my calendar. And I think it also reduces anxiety for me to know that I've got days for things. So making videos, I don't worry during the week about making videos because I know on Tuesday it's my video day and I'll get it all done. And if I get an idea for video, I'll email myself and I'll look at that on Tuesday. So it's in my calendar. So I have a spot for everything. So I'm not constantly worried. Before I had a calendar, I'd be worried and anxious about, when am I going to get this done? When do I have time to do this? And that would stress me out. Where now, okay, I know I'm going to do that on Tuesday. When am I going to have time to mentor my team? Okay, I'm going to have Monday. When am I going to have time to have, to clean up the condo and do grocery shopping, whatever? Okay, that's Sunday, right? So it's all in the calendar. So at least for me, having a calendar has been life-changing. But what ends up happening is we don't put everything in our calendar. We just put our meetings in our calendar. Where I put everything. I put time with Nina in my calendar, time with my son in my calendar, time playing League of Legends and Minecraft is in my calendar. Stuff it's in my calendar. So I have time to get everything I want out of life done. You have time. This reason of I don't have time. You have time. Like if I was to step into your life and see what you were doing every day, there's a lot of wasted time. There's a lot of unintentional time. So the whole idea of having a calendar is to be more intentional. Be more intentional with how you're spending your time. And if you do that, then you can look at your week ahead, your month ahead, and are you excited? This is all life, right? Forget work-life balance. It's all life. So you look at your life, what's in your calendar. Are you excited by the things that are in there? Are you excited by the projects you're working on? Are you excited by the people you're going to be connecting with? Are you excited by the amount of time you're spending just to yourself? Whether that's meditation or yoga or working out or swimming or walking or whatever. Are you spending enough time just for you? Are you excited about the life that is in your calendar? And if not, then change it. What are we doing here? This is why you became an entrepreneur. If you want to live somebody else's version of your life, go get a job where you're told what to do, you're told when to show up, you're told what you have to work on. That's a job. That's why most people hate their lives, because they're being told what to do constantly all the time. They have no freedom. If you want to be an entrepreneur and have ultimate freedom, then let's take control of our calendar, because we're not. Most entrepreneurs that I meet feel out of control, are wasting a ton of time, feel like they're not spending their time being intentional, know they're capable of so much more, know they can be a lot more efficient, a lot more productive, a lot more purposeful with how they're spending their time. So if there's nothing in your calendar that's exciting you, then you do not like your life, because your calendar is a reflection of how you're spending your life. So change it. Now, maybe that's a drastic change, or maybe that's a minor change. And this is an ongoing evolution. Whenever I feel unhappy, not like depressed, because that doesn't really happen, but when I'm feeling like the energy's off, probably a better way to put it. Whenever I feel like the energy is off, for one day, not the end of the world, right? For one day, just go do the thing that's in your calendar because you said you were going to do it, right? But if that's happening for a couple days in a row, or if it's happening for Tuesdays, is my filming day, for example, if I had 2 or 3 Tuesdays in a row where I feel the energy is really off and I'm not enjoying making videos, then I need to pivot. And it's either I need to make different kinds of videos, or I need to just stop making videos. That may happen. I'm willing to drop things if it doesn't bring me joy anymore. And we, as humans, stay in things for far too long. Like, there are things that you're holding on to that you should have dropped maybe years ago, and you're still doing it. Why? Because it's a habit, a routine, or it's sunk costs. Like, you had this goal 5 years ago that doesn't even matter to you anymore, but you've built your self-identity around it. Be willing to let go of things sooner, because you'll never win doing work that you hate. And so there may come a day where I just drop my YouTube channel, all of them, because it doesn't fill me with joy anymore. Now, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, because I still love doing this stuff. But there's been series. Here's an example. I have a personal channel, and I was doing a health journey on it. And I was doing this challenge as part of Joe Polish's Genius Network 50-day implementation to close out last year. And as a result of that challenge, to hold myself accountable and also to take you guys on a journey with me, I started filming videos of what I was doing every week on my health journey. And I had fun. It was a blast. I got some great results, and I continued it into the new year, past the 50-day challenge. The challenge extended. I still went, let's say, another 30 days of making the videos as well. And then I got to a point where I was filming in the morning like I would normally do, and it felt like work. It felt like this isn't fun anymore, and I wanted to do something else. I was doing my walk, and I was showing my walk, and I'm rucking in the morning. I have 20 pounds backpack on me. I'm taking B-roll of the area, showing the snow here in Canada, and it felt like a chore. It didn't feel like a chore 2 weeks ago, but it hit me. This feels like a chore. And so I just stopped. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to do something else with my time. That feels awesome. What could I do that feels awesome? I switched over to using that time when I'm walking to send video DMs to people on Instagram, to thank people who are following me, to thank people who are sending me direct messages, to walk outside and send video direct messages. It made me connect more to what I was doing and why it's important. And it was fun. And so the health series is gone. Just stopped. Didn't even tell my team. Christina, we need to end the health series. I think that's how you win. Now, could I have pivoted and done something else? Sure. It just didn't feel like the right thing to do. It felt like a chore. And I'm never going to win doing work that feels like a chore. So I'm going to stop. And some people love that series. Some people's like, I can't wait to see what's next. Congratulations on your journey. You're inspiring me with your story. And that's super fulfilling. But I can't only do it for them. I have to do the thing that fills me up as well. And it's in that combination of what you love with what brings value to the people that you have a successful business. So there is no work-life balance. Stop thinking of it that way, because it demonizes work. Like the work is against life. We have to balance those two things where it's all just life. And your work should be a super fulfilling part of your life. Spend some time today. Look at your calendar for the next week and month ahead. And put in your time of what a fulfilling life looks like for you. Because you don't want to spend all day working. You don't want to spend all day with your family. You don't want to spend all day lying on the beach. You don't want to spend all day doing any one thing. You want to have that variety and that mix. So what does an intentional, fulfilling life look like for you? Put it in your calendar and then start making the steps to make it happen.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there.
Good afternoon, guys. When you start to believe and live with determination of the truth of who you really are, that you are more powerful than you can ever begin to imagine, when you start living that truth, you will realize how important every decision you make is. So I want you to try that now, wherever you are. Once this video is over, let's see the power of that. Let's see the power of that claim. And what I want you to do is the first negative thought that may enter your mind when this video is done, I want you to examine very carefully what part of that thought is under your control. And I'm sure most of you will realize that it's all under your control. So more specifically, what can you do with that thought? What's the positive aspect? What's the part that you have control over in the situation that may be negative? Hope this helps everyone. Have a great afternoon.
How would you like to become much more productive? If you're selling, sell more. If you're producing, produce more. If you're creating, create more. Well, I'm going to share something with you that I learned a long time ago, and it has to do with time. I was having breakfast with Earl Nightingale. He was on a speaking engagement that I was going to with him, and he said, "How would you like to meet for breakfast?" Well, of course, like that, I was on it. And I always had a half a dozen well-prepared questions whenever I met with Earl. Well, this one day, I said to him, "Earl," I said, "how did you master time management?" He looked at me and he said, "What are you talking about?" Well, I said, "You accomplish more in a short period of time than anybody I've ever seen. And I've never seen the guy rushing. I've never seen him even walking fast." Well, he said, "First of all, I didn't master time management. Nobody masters time management." He said, "Time can't be managed." He said, "You can only manage activity." He says, "I just carry a list in my pocket, and every night before I go to bed, I write down a half a dozen goal-achieving activities that I will start working on tomorrow." And when he said I get up and get dressed and get to work, I start on number 1. And he said I don't go to number 2 until number 1's complete. When number 1's complete, I forget it, and I go to number 2. And I focus on number 2. When number 2's complete, I forget it, and I go to number 3. And I said, "That's it." He said, "That's it." I started to do that. I've found I could become much more productive. You see, a lot of the things you're spending time on don't even have to get done. I learned a long time ago that some things get done through neglect. You were going to do them, you were supposed to do them, you never did them. Never made any difference. See, a lot of the stuff we do, it's useless. It's not productive. It's just busy, and it's busy for busyness sakes. What we want to do is learn how to get things done, but get things done that really make a difference. And when you do that, you're going to find your productivity will jump. As your productivity jumps, your rewards will jump. See, the people that earn the most are ones that produce the most. You say, well, that doesn't always work. That always works. It may not work as fast as you think it should. It may not work the way you think it should, but I'm going to tell you something. This is an orderly universe. Everything happens by law. Everything. You'll always get what you deserve. Never more, never less. It balances itself out over time. Become more productive. How do you become more productive? Write down your goal-achieving activities that you're going to do tomorrow before you go to sleep. And when you make up, that's where all of your focus goes. And you don't let people distract you. People come up, have you got a minute? What they're really saying is, let me waste about 15 minutes of your day, or maybe an hour. Say, no, I'm sorry, I don't have a minute. I'm busy, I'm focused. You're going to find your productivity will go up.
Want to be happy? Build a life, not just a business. Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know you've got more inside you. You've got Michael Jordan level genius at something. So today, let's live your best belief life and learn these 7 habits of insanely productive people. Enjoy. Habit number 2, have a Friday finisher list with Brendan Burchard.
Having my Friday finisher list. What does that mean? It means like, I've got a list here of the things that have to happen by Friday. It's my Friday finisher list. It means that Monday, when I go to work, I am aware of all the things I need to get done and complete by Friday, and that's what I use that unit of time called a week for, is making sure I get all these things done by Friday. I know that by Friday, 5 p.m. or whatever time I want to finish working on Friday, that these list of deliverables have happened and they are done and they are complete for the week. And if I can stay on track with that, oh my gosh, the year just proceeds so much more effectively.
Habit number 3, let go of grudges with Greg McEwen.
Simplifying your state, I think, is a huge return on investment. If you can let go of a grudge, if you can let go of something that you keep on, draining you, then there's just more of you on offer. And that's not through grinding effort. That's through just removing burdens you don't have to be hauling up the mountain at all.
Right.
The number 2 area is effortless action.
That's effortless state, the first
First
area.
one, effortless state. So you're simplifying all of your basically all of that clutter that's in your mind. So it makes it easier to focus on what matters. One of the things that I've learned is that specifically on grudges is that we need to learn, we have to ask an unusual question about grudges. And that is, what did we hire the grudge to do?
Yep.
So as Clayton Christensen says, with any product or service that you have, no one wants a 6 inch drill bit. What they want is a 6-inch hole, right?
Yes.
There's a reason that you're hiring that product or service. Well, you can do the same with grudges. Every grudge we hold for a reason. We've hired the grudge to do something for us. Maybe we hire the grudge to make us feel powerful. See, I am one up. I'm above that person. See, they did this bad thing. I'm holding on to that. See, I'll show that I'm superior. We hold on to it for a sense of superiority. Or maybe we hold on it because we like that we get to tell a story of being a victim. And people go, oh yes, we get sympathy for doing it. Well, we hire grudges to do certain jobs. And what I think is that if we simply evaluate grudges, we say, how are you doing in your job performance for me? Are you actually protecting me? Are you actually making me powerful? Are you actually getting people to build a stronger relationship with me? Or if you evaluate them, and in the book there's a section specifically, one by one you can do this, where you say, you actually find, actually it's not making me powerful, it makes me more vulnerable. It makes me vulnerable with everyone because I'm carrying this wound still and not letting it heal. Is it helping me to build relationships? No, if you pay attention, you notice that when you tell these stories, you kind of have to find new people to tell them to because people get bored of it.
Right.
And so you're not building deeper trust relationships. You're actually kind of wearing them out along the way. And you can go one by one to suddenly discover that this is like a bad employee. We have a grudge is like, you've hired them to do this. They aren't doing any of those things. They're using you. Grudges use you. They burn you up. They waste you out. They make you weaker. And so just through this process, you start to find like, I'm ready to fire my grudges, ready to be free of it so that I can actually recuperate whatever the percentage is, 60 to 70% with Tim. Maybe it's different for other people. Get all of that back. And we can start putting that into the stuff we really wanted to do in the first place. Even though you would never think of forgiveness as a productivity hack. Like maybe no one's ever written that. You know, the productivity hack you need is to forgive people in your life. And yet what else can you call it if you could get back that much energy, that much of your own light and ability and capability? It's the best rebate available. There's a story that I came across in the research that I love of a man who was productive in his community. And then one day he saw what he thought was a piece of string on the ground, and it was a piece of string. He gets it. He's like, oh, I can put that to use. Puts it in his pocket. On that same day in the marketplace, someone else had lost a wallet and lost some money. And they thought that they had seen him pick up the wallet and take it. Accused him of it publicly. There was no way for him to prove his innocence. And so the word went out, this person has acted dishonestly, dishonorably, and so on. Now, at this point in the story, he has a choice. He can't prove his innocence, but he could have, in this moment, let go of the accusation, of the harsh judgment, and he would have suddenly had all that energy back to be able to get back onto, well, what can I do something about? How can I serve? How can I make a contribution? How can I be successful again? But he doesn't. He gets fixated on it. Everywhere he goes, he talks about it. He nurses the grudge. He explains, it's a piece of string. Don't you see it was wrong? A piece of string, a piece of string. People started laughing about this guy. All he ever wants to talk about is a piece of string. And it makes him ill. And on his deathbed, final words of the story, you know, a little piece of string, a little piece of string. And this is how the story goes. Now that is a fictionalized account, but it illustrates the point of where are you putting your mental energies. If we put them on grudges, if we put them on things that have happened, we wish they hadn't happened, or even on our own mistakes where we go, I wish I'd been different, and we're beating ourselves up for past mistakes. We're just putting tons of effort onto things that will exhaust us and burn us out instead of us moving forward to the things that really matter.
So
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Habit number 4, learn to say no with James Clear.
I'm reading an article you wrote that resonated with me. And I don't know that this gets worse as maybe you achieve more, but you're like, the ultimate productivity hack is saying no.
I felt this very acutely after Atomic Habits came out. And over the course of the first 3 months that it was out, I was doing okay. And then the book really started to take off. And I was constantly feeling like I'm a very slow learner and that I should have been upgrading the level at which I was saying no to things. And I was always 2 or 3 months behind. I was always on the hook for more stuff than I should have been. And it was because I was saying yes to too many things. And there's this weird dynamic where success starts to eat itself. So the thing that was getting me all of these opportunities is because I was focused and I wrote a good book. And because of that, people were very interested in talking to me or sharing these new ideas. And there's all these interesting new opportunities that come your way. Do you want to speak at this thing? Or what about these TV rights? Or how about this interesting opportunity? Or would you like to come to this, cool conference or retreat or whatever? And individually, each of them sounds really fun and interesting. But collectively, if you start to say yes to all those things, you don't have any more time to do the thing that got you those opportunities in the first place, which is thinking clearly and writing a good book. And so success like eats itself. All these new opportunities come in and they squeeze out the thing that you were good at in the first place. So it's I don't know. The other thing that's difficult about it, and I still, I'm close enough to the beginning of my career that I can still appreciate this and feel this. For the first decade of my career, I was trying to say yes to everything. I was trying to capitalize on every opportunity so that I would have the chance now to say no to basically everything because you got a bunch of stuff coming your way. So at first it's like outbound and you're trying to like capitalize on every opportunity you can. And then there's this like rapid switch where now all of a sudden everything's inbound and you have to put up a tight filter. And that can be a difficult lesson to learn.
Habit number 5, schedule your time with Dean Graziosi.
I want you to think about scheduling time. See, what we do is we say, I'll get to that next week, or I'll work on that new project tomorrow, or I'll work on that project at lunchtime. But then when we work on it, we dabble. The greatest gift I could give you is have a start time and an end time to everything and anything that you do, right? Because what happens is we get excited about something, we want to make more money. So we get a course, we get a program, we get something, and then we decide maybe Tuesday, maybe Thursday after work, and then a week goes by, a month goes by. Schedule the time, a start time, an end time, schedule when you're going to be done with the project or when you're going to commit to doing it.
Habit number 6, get rid of overwhelm with Mel Robbins.
I am going to disappear overwhelm using a simple pitcher, mason jar, and a garden variety spiral notebook. I know. I'm not kidding. I'm actually going to disappear overwhelm. Overwhelm is something that you want to fight because if you allow yourself to stay in a state of feeling overwhelmed by the amount of things that you have to do, that pressure and that uncertainty combined with this feeling that you can't get anything done is going to create anxiety in your life. It's going to impact not only your well-being, but it's also going to severely limit your ability to focus and get things done. So the most important thing with overwhelm is to understand what it is and a simple tool that you can use to get rid of it. So here's what we're going to do. So let's pretend that this right here, this empty mason jar, is your brain. In order to do your best thinking, you need to make sure that you've got the full capacity of your brain leveraged and pointed at the things that are important to you. Here's the problem. When you go through life, what happens is, your brain starts to fill up with information, and that's what creates a state of feeling overwhelmed. Being overwhelmed is nothing more than having a full brain. So as you go through your day-to-day life and you start checking email and looking at texts and looking at Facebook and sitting in meetings and flipping through television channels and sending emails and writing Excel spreadsheets and running and picking up the kids at work and getting another text and looking at Instagram and looking at Twitter and checking out the news, your brain gets pretty full, doesn't it? And so when you feel overwhelmed, what I know about you is that your brain is full of a bunch of garbage. And so, I didn't think about the drain draining. I hope that's not bothering you, but it's certainly going to bother me. What you need to do in order to fight overwhelm is you've got to actually do a brain dump. You got to get rid of all that stuff so that you've got an empty brain so you can focus again. So how do you do that? It's easy to do with a cup of water because you just pour it out. This is what you're going to do. You are literally going to dump out everything that's in your head onto this piece of paper. Every concern, every worry, every to-do, everything that's bothering you, that you're thinking about, you're going to write down. All right, and when you're done writing down everything that's in your head and there's absolutely nothing left, got something due tomorrow that I kind of forgot about. Once you get that stuff all down on a piece of paper, pull out a highlighter. Take a look. You could do everything on this list. You could. But what should you do? What are 3 things, just 3, that you should do in order to advance the things that matter to you? Let's see. I got to do that one. I got to do that one. And I got to do that one. The rest of this list is complete and utter garbage. It's other people's stuff. It's the email stuff. It's the meeting stuff. It's the stuff that's not all that important to me. It's not that mission critical. So by dumping everything out, I now not only have the 3 things I need to do, I've got a clear head so I can get it done.
And habit number 7, the last one before some very special bonus clips, is get into airplane mode with Marie Forleo.
put your entire life on airplane mode. So don't try and ignore your phone or ignore the emails or ignore the Slack messages or whatever else that you have that dings and rings and pops up. That's like me telling Kuma to ignore this slice of salami. Ain't gonna happen. Who can ignore the salami? Who can ignore the salami? So rather than resist temptation, just eliminate it. And that means you have to put your entire life on airplane mode. Now, obviously, turn off all the notifications. So close all the tabs, close all the windows, turn off the apps. And especially for your phone, I suggest just turning the damn thing off. However, you also got to shut off some people too. And that means that you might have to tell your kids and your spouse and your coworkers that for the next 2 hours or 1 hour or 3 hours that you don't exist. Kind of like this. See? Nobody here.
Burnout is real, but I think most burnout happens because people are not doing the thing that they actually love doing. It's not just about being busy and keeping your mind occupied all day. You can be busy and hate your life and get burnt out. If I was an accountant, I would hate my life and burn out in a day because I don't like being an accountant. But doing this thing that I love, I put in way more effort, way more work, and I love it. It's been 10 plus years of still having my YouTube channel and I'm not burnt out. If anything, I'm pushing harder than ever before because I love it. And so I think it's not just about being busy, it's about being busy on the thing that is your mission for life. Now, compassion fatigue is a thing. Doing it so much that you burn out yourself is possible. But again, that is not why most people are burning out. Most people, I believe, are burning out because they're spending too much time, too much energy, too much effort doing things that they hate. And if you wake up and hate your life and hate the job you're about to go to, then there's no wonder why you feel like you're burning out. So I recently came back from going to Tony Robbins' event in Dallas. He invited me to sit in the front row, and super blessed and grateful to have Tony's support. And I went there with Alex, friend of the channel, who helps me run Toronto Dance Salsa. And we were on a super crunch timeline because Alex was teaching classes the evening before we left and then the day of the last event. And we rushed down there. Alex was flying in just to get to the event. He's late on the first day. We're rushing to leave on the last day. And it's nonstop. If you've been to a Tony Robbins event, it's all day, all night. It's 8 in the morning to midnight, and then up again the next day and doing the same thing. And it's wild and it's fun. It's amazing. And my favorite thing to do whenever I travel is actually meet Believe Nation, meet you guys. And so all through the event, I wear my Believe hoodie, and I'm not wearing Grant stuff. I'm wearing Evan Carmichael stuff with the plane and the Believe on the back, and people are stopping me. And that's actually the best. It doesn't take away from my experience. Tony's often on stage at the top at the beginning of every event saying, hey, I have some friends of mine, you might know them, they might be celebrities, leave them alone, don't talk to them, let them have their own experience. And it always makes me sad when he says that, because for me, meeting you guys, meeting people who recognize me, and that's a group that I over-index because people who watch Tony videos, you know, they're probably gonna find my content. I like it more when people come and say hi. It adds to the experience for me. And then on the last day, before we rushed out to go to the airport, I set up a meetup, right? I had an hour open before having to get to the airport. So let's do a meetup. Let's do a local Dallas, Richardson, Texas meetup, right? And it could have spent the time doing something else or sleeping in or writing my book or doing anything else. But it's not burnout for me. Like, that fuels me. That gives me more energy. I love it. Hanging out with Believe Nation gives me more energy than it takes away. And I then took an Uber to get to the airport, and the guy who drove the Uber was actually in the meetup in Richardson. He's like, I gotta leave early because I gotta start my job. Okay, great. And then I book an Uber, and there he is. A total fluke, but amazing. And so it's a lot of work. You know, I was all day, all night, not connecting with my team, not doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing, and then I still make time to be with people and make a 1 hour meetup because that hour was open, and it fuels me. But if it was something that I hated, just that half an hour, just 15 minutes, I'd start to feel like I'm burning out. Like, I don't want to be here. Like, this is terrible. And so I think it's really important that you're doing work that you love. That would be a burnout for other people, but not a burnout for you because you love it so much. So how do you find it? How do you find the work that you love? I got a 3-step process called Who, Why, How. I'm going to talk about it in depth in my next book, but let's do a super quick analysis here to help you guys who might be struggling. Step number 1 is who. So your who is your most important core value. What is your most important core value as a human being? Mine is believe. It's a one-word most important core value for me. So when you figure out what it is that you stand for as a human, you can then look at your life and see where you're falling short. If you're unhappy with life, it's because you are living incongruently with your most important core value. So someone whose core value is freedom, as an example, you can look at your life. Like, are you allowed to be free? Are you free at work? Are you free in your relationships? Are you free, in these different areas? If not, then you're not going to be happy. That's why you're not happy, because your boss doesn't allow you to have freedom. Mine is believe. So believe has to be in everything that I touch. If there's a situation that's lacking believe, I'm not going to be happy with it. So that just gives you already an indication of who you are and starts to make sense of your life going backwards and allows you to plan it better going forward. So it's one of the most important exercises I think anybody can do. Figure out what your who is. Who, I, how. Step 2 is why. So why is your purpose? Your purpose comes from your pain. Your purpose comes from the deepest, darkest, most painful moment in your life. Whatever that was, your purpose is to help other people who are currently going through that thing. Whatever you struggled with, suffered with, endured, felt like you never want to wish that on your worst enemy, never want to go back and experience again that pain. That's what I'm talking about. You want to help other people who are currently going through that pain, because there's a lot of people who are currently going through that thing. Who you were X number of years ago, there's a lot of people who are currently like that right now. That's who you want to help for life. That'll never get old. That's your purpose for life. I want to help entrepreneurs for life. I believe in entrepreneurs for life because I struggled so much as an entrepreneur, and I want to make the path a little bit easier for everybody else. So that's your why. And your who and your why are constant. They never change. Your core values and your purpose are for life, and that's amazing. The last step is how. Who, why, how. How is your passion. How is how you got out of the pain that you're in. So you struggled with something. How did you get out of it? You may not be fully out of it. Maybe you're still on your journey out of it, but you're further ahead than you used to be. How did you get out of it? Did you read books? Did you watch videos? Did you meditate? Did you walk your dogs? Did you listen to music? Like, how did you get out of it? How did you get out of it? And that is a recipe that you can teach other people. How you got out of it was not some random one-off situation. You can teach other people. So I struggled a lot with my business. I felt worthless as a human. I wanted to quit. I told my partner that I quit. How I got out of it was modeling success. I looked at Bill Gates, how he started Microsoft, and I applied those strategies to my business, and we started to see some success. 20 years later, what am I doing? Still modeling success. Right? I want to learn from Grant. I want to learn from Steve. I want to learn from Kanye. I want to learn from these people. It's why I keep creating this content. How I got out of it was studying success, and now I teach other people how to study success. Right? How you actually go about doing it may change. When I first started doing it 20 years ago, it was through books. Right? Now it's through videos. And in 10 years, 20 years, it's going to be through VR and a bunch of other technologies that I'm sure are coming. But the how you got out is a teachable recipe that you can give to other people. So if you're struggling with burnout and you think it's because you don't love the work that you're doing and you know that you're destined for something greater, that you do have Michael Jordan level talent at something, but you don't know what it is and you want to figure it out, figure it out. This is the process. This is the easiest process I know of to get there. Figure out your who, your one word most important core value, figure out your why, your purpose comes from your pain, and figure out your how, which is your passion, how you got out of it, you can teach other people, and that will set you up for an amazing life with hopefully very little burnout and definitely a lot of purpose.
I was in Thailand and I saw the golden.
Good evening, guys. I want to share with you a story that highlights the importance of us having a sense of possessing ourselves before we're able to share and service others. And I want to share a story that comes from Stephen Covey in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He gives an example where his daughter, when she was young, had received a gift from others for her birthday. And she didn't want to share her toy, her new gift, with those people that had bought it for her. And you could see him getting very frustrated as it went on and she wouldn't share. But in the end, she simply was demonstrating the fact that she needed to feel that sense of possessing the thing first before she was ready to share it. So those of you that are parents can probably relate to young children. They don't want to share until they feel that sense of it's mine first. So we have to be like that with ourselves. We got to possess ourselves before we share ourselves. Have a great evening, everyone.
The basic skill on this side, according to my rich dad, was you have to sell.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot be an entrepreneur if you cannot sell.
Yeah.
And that scared the crap out of me because, you know, I'm Japanese. I'm really a shy person.
Mm-hmm.
And my rich dad looked at me and he says, "You're shy, huh? Big deal. What are you going to do about it?" I said, "Well, you know, I just don't, you know, I just don't like rejection. I don't like this and I don't like that. And I could kill people, but I couldn't talk to them." So my rich dad's pressuring me. He says, I said, "I don't want to sell," because on my poor dad's side, you know, the Japanese side, salesmen are scum, salesmen are crooks, salesmen are con men. And on this side, sales, you have to have the ability to sell. Can you handle rejection?
Mm-hmm.
Can you, somebody say no to you, and can you come back? And I didn't want to do that. I'm a very shy person. So he says that shyness is killing you.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Robert Kiyosaki, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy. Rule number 2, always be a student.
Hey, Robert, what advice would you give a 20-year-old man who is starting his entrepreneurial career?
Start. I mean, study. I mean, what accumulates, you know, fat accumulates, but so does knowledge and wisdom. And so I could be sitting at a bar, you know, instead of listening to a Rich Cooper or Rollo, I could be sitting at a bar sucking down chicken wings and a Budweiser.
Mm-hmm.
That accumulates. Or I could be listening to YouTube, listening to you guys, and listening to Gammon, and listening to guys like Records. And I also listen to the Marxists. Some of these guys, they give me the creeps.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of Marxists and communists on YouTube.
Well, you have to know your enemy, right? I mean, you have to know what they're plotting. Intel.
It's called keep an open mind, you know what I mean?
Rule number 3, seek the best teachers.
I would say the most important thing at this juncture in history in 2022 is get smarter. Listen to real teachers. You know, that was the choice I had to make at the age of 9. Do I listen to my poor dad who was a PhD, or to listen to my rich dad? That's a tough decision for a 9-year-old kid. But when I came back from Vietnam, I flew for the Marine Corps. My poor dad said to go back to school and get my PhD. And I said, I can't do that. And I became an entrepreneur instead. So I never needed a job again. That was the difference. I was a free human being. I'm sitting in Sunday school at 7, and the Sunday school teacher says, "Hey, why were the 3 wise men wise?" And I said, "Because they were rich." She said, why do you think the wise men were rich? I said, "Well, they had gold, frankincense, and myrrh." She says, "That's not the reason they were rich." I said, "What's the reason?" And I never forgot her reason. She says, "They always sought the best teacher." And I'm not religious, but they were seeking Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So in times of trouble, always seek the best teachers.
Rule number 4, work on spiritual intelligence.
Let me draw this picture. You guys have seen it before. But again, if you look at it this way, this is intelligences. And this is what makes us up. This makes us human beings. We have mental intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
We have physical intelligence. You know, like Tiger Woods is a fantastic golfer. I suck, you know. And then you have emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence, they call it EQ, is the most important. Because I get my feelings hurt all the time. I get angry. I hallucinate in my head. You know, I think things that aren't true. But the biggest one of all is the spiritual. And the difference between mental and spiritual, it's very simple. Mental causes 2. So man, woman, good, bad, up, down. Where spiritual is one. So I'll give you an example. Why do I do my work? Yesterday I was driving down the road and I saw this young guy. God, just broke my heart. You know, he's standing there in the hot Phoenix sun. He's just unemployed, need money to feed the kids and all that. Now, mentally I could say, well, get a job, you idiot, you know, da-da-da. But spiritually, I am him. I feel for him. So in my work, I work for this. You know, like, I don't need the money.
Yeah.
But as my teacher was Dr. R. Buckminster Fuller. And he says, I don't work for me, I work for everyone. And that was one of the biggest lessons I got from the military. You know, from the military was very high spiritual intelligence. That's why your dad and I get along so well. Because when we went into combat, which is a horrible experience of good and bad people, enemy and friends, you know. But when we climbed into our aircraft, there was a crew of 5. We became one. It is the best feeling, as horrible as it is, flying into combat, because we might not come back. But it was the highest feeling of all. It was spiritual. And I'm afraid it's not just millennials, it's human beings, you know. Well, you know, is this good? Is this bad? Is this the best Vuitton shirt? Can I get it at a better price? Or he's cute or she's cute, you know, I mean, but is there somebody better, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what's going on.
So you guys are stuck in your head, and I think you should get more into your spirit, you know, like saying, what can I do for my fellow human being?
Yeah.
What can I do for the environment? And I think the biggest secret of my success is I have all, you know, we all have these. We all have some degree of physical things we do. Emotionally, I'm a basket case a lot of the time, you know. I get upset, I get angry, I get sad, I get my feelings hurt. And I'm always, this is good, this is bad, this is, you know, you watch politics, it's all good and bad, it's a bunch of BS. But what keeps me going is this, and it's spiritual. Is how can I serve others? How can I serve the planet? How can I fix this problem?
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Rule number 5, understand infinite returns.
Get to the point where you don't need money. It's called the infinite return. And that's my next book coming out next year.
Yeah.
When you get to the point where you don't need money, you're home free. You'll never need money. You don't care. You can always put a deal together. You can always create an asset out of nothing. You know, it's like, I don't know what else. It's the power of God-given power. So like I said, when I write a book, I'm selling 50 copies, 50 licenses, day one. And let's say I get 10,000 a license. How much is that? 50 times 10,000? Is it 500,000?
50 times 10,000?
Yeah.
That's 500,000.
Yeah, so I'm in the black immediately. What does it cost me? Maybe 10,000 to write a book. Do you know? So I'm in the black. The same thing if I trade a stock. I buy a stock at $1, it goes up to 10, and I sell. So I have all free trading stock. I have no money in it. That's what Buffett's doing. They're all infinite return guys.
Sure.
You have no money into the deal, and you can do it with anything.
Rule number 6, get rid of paycheck mentality.
And the paycheck is one of the most sinister plots ever pulled upon a human being. If you need a paycheck, you've sold your soul. You know, you sold your body, your mind, your spirit, and your emotions. You sit there in fear of losing your job, or can I get a raise, or, you know, will I get promoted? I mean, and then why would you do that? Another thing about the reason we endorse network marketing, we don't think of it as a network marketing. We think of it as entrepreneur development. Because if you need a paycheck, this is not your business. We build businesses. So sometimes when Kim and I do a deal, we may not receive a paycheck for 5-6 years. And so these guys come, oh, am I going to get rich quick? And some people do. I don't know if you do or not. But that is an employee get rich loser mindset. And so the thing that network marketing does is really kind of cure you of that loser paycheck get rich quick mentality and actually build a business. We build businesses, and that's how we're rich. But we didn't get rich quick, and I don't need a paycheck, and I never want a paycheck. So that's kind of a revolutionary thought to most people up there who went to school to get good grades and get a job. And they get a high-paying job, and the higher-paying job, you pay higher taxes, and you wonder why you never get ahead. That's because you went to school to get a job and a paycheck. You've got to get away from the paycheck, and sometimes it might take 2-3 years to get away from that. And that's what network marketing teaches people. It's an entrepreneur's mindset. It's an entrepreneur's spirit, not a loser employee, I need a paycheck mentality.
Rule number 7, chase excellence.
How do you deal with critics? Like, do you have a go-to formula? Like, how do you deal with that?
Again, Rich, I want to thank you for that. You and Rollo. I am not bullshitting you because I don't need to do this. It's when you talk about chasing excellence and getting people into frame, and one of the things I used to do is I'd shine off people. Mm-hmm. They come up and talk to me about, well, thank you for the book. And now I don't do that. So people stop me and say, thank you for writing your book. I stay with them. My excellence is to be a better human being with them. Everybody that comes up to me, because not that what's going to my head is I'm busy. And I don't have time for somebody to tell me how they made $10,000. I just go, whoa, I sit there, listen to them, but it's in everything I do. Can I be excellent at it? Can I be a better human being towards them? And that's what I'm saying. It's the word excellence is a mental word, but how do I convert it to action? And when I convert it to action, I change. Maria Montessori, the Montessori school system, she says, what the hand does, the mind remembers. But too many academics, they have good memory, but they can't do shit. Mm. That's my whole family, the great people, PhDs. I have one distant relative. He's 40 years old. He's living in the basement, and he's going for his second PhD. He can't find a job. I said, duh. Is God trying to tell you something?
Yeah, so just don't pay attention to that.
So what do?
You don't have any time to pay attention to haters if you're chasing excellence, right?
Well, there's a saying I have, don't teach pigs to sing. It wastes your time. It annoys the pig.
Yeah.
So I don't argue with them.
Rule number 8, be disciplined.
I'm a writer, but I wouldn't be here if I didn't take the hard road. And the reason I couldn't write was because I was a surfer. Now, I love surfing, and I had dreams of someday becoming a professional surfer. And then it dawned on me that my friends were cool guys. They're good looking, they have great bodies, and they're all cool and drinking and smoking and having a good time. I didn't do any of that stuff. But they lack discipline. And that was the thing. I said, they have no discipline. They're cutting class, they're doing this, and where am I going to wind up if I follow them? So I kind of woke up and I realized I needed discipline. Now, discipline is not punishment because there is punishment. You see, if you're not disciplined, the world will punish you. But also, you will punish yourself. Mm-hmm. So I kind of realized that, and that's why I applied for military school. Nobody thought I could get in because my grades were D's and F's, but I had high SAT scores. And so I went to a military school in New York, and I have found discipline. And then I joined the Marine Corps for more discipline. And then I became a pilot in Vietnam for more discipline. So when I meet most people today, and I'm the same way, we all want the easy road. Give me the easy answer.
Rule number 9, have people you can trust.
Think about entrepreneurs. You're not manual labor. So you're working with your mind, your body, your spirit, and your emotions. You just
sure.
timing things, observing things. You have to have good friends, people you trust implicitly.
Yeah.
And like I have fantastic staff. I trust them with, some of my people have been around me for 20 years. Some of my best partners are 40 years. And we trust each other. So that takes time.
And rule number 10, the last one before some very special bonus clips, is manage your money well.
What are you doing to make your money? So if I was selling drugs, that'd be a violation of my morals and my ethics. And then what do you do with your money? So, when I was first starting off in real estate, I had to learn, I had to learn how to inspect the property. So there's all different classes of real estate. So I started off in what they call trailers, those little mobile, they just tow them up there. Yep. I'm going in there and I go, here's this crappy ass trailer they're renting from this guy, but the guy's got a brand new Ford pickup outside. I'm going, I don't have a brand new Ford pickup. But you can always learn. The reason the guy's poor, instead of owning or he could be doing the same thing I'm doing, but the reason he's poor, he's always trading in his pickup because they'll give him, we'll give you extra money for your thing, just sign here and all this. They just keep getting into debt. And that's why I wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I've created my cash flow board game and all this. Because, man, we don't teach people between assets and liabilities and income expenses and cash flow. We're poor anyway. It doesn't make a difference how much you make, because I have a lot of friends who look rich, you know what I mean? They got the Mercedes, got the roller, got the big house. But this COVID has blown them apart. They have no foundation. They look good. They dress nice. They wear the nice watches and the clothes. But they're now having to sell their properties because they can't afford it. You know what I'm talking about? So it's the same problem, It's just how you manage your money.
The most important thing for these people right now is choose your teachers wisely. And I commend you for attempting to help people. As if I could leave anything to you, the people that are listening to you right now, commendable. They're looking for answers. But it comes back down to who are your 5 friends, and are you happy with them? Or is it time to move on?
The property was